There's 10,000 people that could make $5 billion in 30 days if they wanted to bend over and pick up the money without taking a risk.
Welcome to Dream Richer. How long do you think it will be before we see Bitcoin hit insane prices? We've all heard that Bitcoin could hit $2 million or even $5 million in the near future. But when would that take place? According to Saylor, it could happen anytime now. Saylor, the founder of Microstrategy, has been a strong advocate of Bitcoin over recent years. He says that all it needs for a Bitcoin's price to go to the moon is large institute adoption. Amongst these large investment firms, one of his likely candidates is the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Abu Dhabi. The Abu Dhabi Investment Authority currently stands at a whopping value of $697 billion and was ranked as the fourth largest sovereign wealth fund in the world in 2021. The largest holding that this sovereign fund currently holds is the oil reserves of Abu Dhabi. Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan is the chairman of the investment fund and personally holds up to $15 billion in net worth. Saylor argues that it takes just one of these large firms to put only 5 or even 2% of their funds into Bitcoin. This would trigger a domino effect, where other large investment funds would follow the pattern and also decide to hold some Bitcoin on their portfolio. Investment of just 2% by these large institutes would see Bitcoin hit $2 million with ease. Today, Saylor covers how he sees Bitcoin adoption coming about. If you find the video helpful, then don't forget to subscribe. Let's get right into it.
Let's just deal with the elephant in the room here, which is if you look at Bitcoin and you look at all the other cryptos, there's a crypto economy. It's got its own future. It's very complicated and murky. We could talk about it for 3 hours. There's competitive issues, security issues, regulatory issues, nation state issues, complicated. Then there's Bitcoin, a digital property on a dominant network. It doesn't need any of the other crypto whatever to be successful. For Bitcoin to be successful, there are any of 10,000 entities. The Sovereign Wealth Fund of Abu Dhabi, the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Saudi Arabia, the Qataris, the Emiratis, the Norwegian Sovereign Wealth Fund, every public investor, every macro investor, every large company on earth, any municipality, any state, any government, there's 10, 20,000 people. They go to sleep tonight. They could wake up tomorrow morning and they could say, I think Bitcoin looks like crypto gold. I'm going to go ahead and put 3% of my portfolio in it. That means I'm going to buy $4 billion of it. I'm going to buy $4 or $5 billion of it. It's nothing to me. It's nothing. It's like figure out how important 2% of your money is. It's like that deal. It's like, I noticed it. I'm going to put 2-3% of my assets into it. We'll see where it goes. LFG. And they put the news release out on the wire, and Bitcoin doubles or triples. And then, if the Sovereign Wealth Fund of some Middle Eastern state did it, if they bought $5 billion, these people have $500 billion. So back to what does this mean to Bitcoin? It's like some dude with a $400 billion balance sheet can delegate to a portfolio manager to look at this thing, and that portfolio manager can say, I'm going to put 2% into it. And if you pick up the paper and you read that the Sovereign Wealth Fund of such and such state bought $5 billion worth of it, what happens is the next 5 countries, they think they'll put $5 billion into it. And then what happens next is somebody at Google says, I guess we can hold $5 billion of it. And then somebody at Goldman Sachs or Morgan Stanley says, I guess we probably should grab some. And then Ray Dalio with his $50 billion or $100 billion or $150 billion. Okay, well, I guess instead of like 0.5%, maybe 3%. Okay, and then all of a sudden Bitcoin spends from 40,000 to 150,000, 200,000. And I guess what I'm telling you is there's 10,000 people that could make $5 billion in 30 days if they wanted to bend over and pick up the money without taking a risk.
The effect that large investment firms, or whales as we call it, would have on the price of Bitcoin is very clear. In February last year, Tesla, the business giants, announced that they would start to accept Bitcoin as payment. This simple announcement shot the Bitcoin price up to all new-time highs of $4,000 to $4,000. Tesla now holds 48,000 Bitcoins and has oftentimes made it public that they strongly support Bitcoin. Currently, Tesla is valued at $58 billion. Just imagine what would happen to the price of Bitcoin when larger institutes like the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, that is valued at $697 billion, make it public that they are about to enter the Bitcoin market. Unlike Tesla, where Bitcoin saw a 20% increase in price, Bitcoin could see 2x or even 5x. As Michael Saylor argues, things wouldn't just end there. This would be an investment call to all the other funds to also now step into the market, hence driving Bitcoin adoption and price to insane figures.
I can't really imagine that we live in a world where 30,000 people don't want billions of dollars of money. Like sometimes I'll talk to these big investors and I'll say, well, what's this thing with Bitcoin? So it's digital properties, the dominant global digital asset network, and it's a lever. And here's the reason it's better than credit or bonds or real estate. Here's how it fits in your portfolio. And they're like, I got to think about it some more. And I try to always be very polite, but in the back of my head, like, I'm like, you have $25 billion in your portfolio and you generated 2% yield last year, which is downright embarrassing because the S&P was up 25% and a freaking robot could have got 10x what you got. And I'm thinking, you must not like money that much. like I'm listening to you. I'm telling you, take $1 billion, take $2 billion, buy Bitcoin, put out a press release, explain why you bought it, and wait, and you're going to double your money. It's not easy to make billions of dollars. It's not easy. But there is one easy way, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the easy way. And it all comes down to what's your balance sheet, right? It used to be that someone with $50 million could lean on it. You saw our impact. We started with 500 million. We really started with 250 million in capital that we could invest. And so now we're up to 5 billion. But what happens when someone comes in starting with 5 billion? This is a solution to a lot of problems. It's a big tech solution, like a company. Let's take my company. What did I do? Well, first I took existing cash and I bought Bitcoin. Then I borrowed money and bought more Bitcoin. Why was I able to borrow the money? I was able to borrow the money because the stock traded up because I bought the Bitcoin, right? So buying the Bitcoin drove the stock, opened up the opportunity to borrow the money, opened up more opportunities. And in the third and the fourth quarter, we sold $1 billion worth of stock. We sold $1 billion of stock, blended $700 a share. You remember what the stock was at when I started the journey. Okay, so what's going on is I'm backing the equity of the company with an asset which is stronger than a currency. The equity trades up, all the securities of the company trade up, and then I borrow money to buy back into the balance sheet. So today, say what you will, we're sitting on $5 billion or 124,000 Bitcoin, right? Which is an asset as opposed to having a liability. And we got there in 18 months. We got there from August to today, right? About 18 months. You could do the same thing with a country.
It's clear from Michael Saylor's explanation that it's in the best interest of all large businesses and investment firms to hold some sort of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Bitcoin can provide business access to so many new demographic groups. In fact, one recent study found that up to 40% of customers who pay with crypto are new customers of the company, and their purchase amounts are twice those of credit card users. Bitcoin will also unlock so many options that are simply not available with fiat currency. For example, programmable money can allow real-time and accurate revenue sharing while enhancing transparency. Do you agree with Michael Saylor's opinion on a mass Bitcoin adoption coming soon? To learn more about the latest crypto news, watch these videos here.